When you're a Jet all the way. But are these the same old Jets? Stick around. You're about to be locked in to the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. Don't forget, we're a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts to get the latest episode as soon as it's available. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Sports Illustrated. So reach out to me. Let me know what's on your mind on Twitter, on the Bird app, on X, whatever you want to call it, at MDABATE NFL. Also, if you're out there showing some social media, love to Locked On Patriots. Follow our account there as well at LO_Patriots. And Pats fans, today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And Pats fans, we are getting you ready for this weekend's Week 3 showdown. The New England Patriots and the New York Jets, 1 p.m. start time, Sunday from MetLife Stadium. Tropical cyclones in the forecast. All different kinds of things happen when these two teams play. But bottom line, if this one goes off without a hitch, it should be an exciting matchup. Joining me here, as always, to break down all the ins and outs, all the ups and downs of Patriots-Jets week is my good friend, the Green King of Sting himself, the Monster Master of Disaster, the Count of Murphy Fisso, the legendary Thomas Murphy of E2Gsports.com. Thank you for coming to me in friendship, Don Murph.
Always my pleasure, Michael. Always my pleasure. When we get out of remember, folks, we get out of the Meadowlands, leave the gun, take the canola.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't want to be left on the causeway this time around, Murph. It's not a good place to be. All kidding aside, folks, the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. The Jets 1-1, the Patriots 0-2. The Pats trying to find the win column for the first time in 2023. And Murph, unfortunately, the task is not going to be easy. We start off with some unfortunate news that we found out yesterday afternoon, and that is second-year electric cornerback, wide receiver, punt returner, anything you can think of that you can throw at this kid. He can do it, and he can do it at a high level. Marcus Jones will not be with the team for at least the next 4 games, being placed on injured reserve, suffering a torn labrum in the first quarter of the Pats' 24-17 loss to the Miami Dolphins. Now, according to our good friend, Dr. Jessica Flynn, whose opinion I hold in the highest regard, shoulder labrum tears, painful, very tough to play through, folks. A lot of athletes try to push through, wait for the offseason surgery. Jones has to take a minimum of 4 games to at least evaluate where he is, and that will then tell the tale as to whether or not this is something he can play through. So probably not an immediate return within that 4 weeks, but he'll miss at least the next 4 with this injury. Murph, with their Week 3 matchup with the Jets coming up, we all remember what happened the last time these two teams played. Marcus Jones made the Jets pay for kicking the ball to him in such a late area in the game. 84-yard punt return for the win. Those heroics will not be there this time around. What do the Patriots need to do specifically to the Jets, but really overall, to replace what Marcus Jones brings you on the field?
You really can't. He's so versatile, and he's so integral to what the Patriots do, not just on defense but on special teams. It's going to take a monster effort by quite a few ball players to fit into this young man's shoes and do what they have to. But I'm completely confident in what Bill has planned for my favorite person, Zach Wilson, and the Jets in his absence.
Yeah, without any question. I mean, Marcus Jones is one of those electric type players. Mac Jones compared him to a Swiss Army knife last year, in saying he could do multiple things well. We all fell in love with Marcus with the touchdown against the Buffalo Bills and one of the very few offensive highlights for the New England Patriots last season, but it was a brilliant one. But what he brings to the table, not just in the return game, but also in the field. This kid is a very competent corner. And last week against the Dolphins, Marcus was ready to take on a pretty significant role on the perimeter. When he went down, Miles Bryant had to come in and be able to do that. And I think you will see a little more Miles this week, folks, maybe on the perimeter, in the slot. I think you're going to see a greater amount of snaps being taken by him. Well, do you think this is going to fall on Miles Bryant's shoulders, Murph?
It's a combination between Bryant, Mills, Sean Wade. It's like I said, it's going to be a conglomerate of an effort to fill this young man's shoes and get the Patriots home on Sunday with a victory that they desperately need.
Yeah, they absolutely desperately need this victory without any question. And I think that leads me quite nicely into my next question for you, and that is Zach Wilson. The New England Patriots always seem to have his kryptonite, whether it is self-inflicted and they're in his head before he even takes the snap, or whether it's exotic looks that Bill Belichick can show him that will confuse him at the line, confuse him before he takes the snap, and really puts him at a disadvantage before he's even able to touch the ball. We've seen this in the last 4 games, but John Butchko joined me here yesterday on Locked On Patriots, Locked On Jets crossover day, and we talked a little bit about how Zach is moving a little bit better in the pocket. He's seeing the reads a little bit better. Is there any concern for the New England Patriots now that their secondary might be a little depleted? Can he take advantage of that with some of the weapons that he has downfield, most notably someone like a Garrett Wilson?
No.
Tell us how you really feel, Murph.
He's Zach Wilson. I have never been happier over a Jets draft pick in my entire life than I was when the day that they took Zach Wilson. I was in a room full of people that you would call experts in the draft process, experts in the quarterback evaluation process. And I was the only person that was happy that they had took this young man and that Mac Jones was still on the board for the Patriots to take at 15. No, Bill is going to confuse this kid beyond belief the same way he has always done, whether Jones is out there or not. Flood this field with defensive backs, get in his face as often as possible. One of my keys this week was to get in Zach Wilson's face and make things difficult for him. The Patriots have 4 sacks on the entire season, and one of them has come at the hands of their rookie cornerback, Mr. Gonzalez. And this week they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to get out and get in his face, get this man to the ground, get home, people, get home. I'm tired of pressure. Get home.
Yeah. If you're able to pressure the quarterback and keep him off guard, let him take sacks, force him into errant throws, even if he's just throwing these away or throwing them into the dirt or incompleting short, typically gimme passes. That is definitely some pressure off of a secondary that's going to be feeling it. And you mentioned Sean Wade earlier, Murph. I think you may see him take some increased snaps down in that secondary. Another guy that could be an option here, folks. The Patriots may find themselves in the unique position of having both a literal and a figurative need for speed, Murph, and that is Amir Speed. He lives up to his name without any question. He ran the 40-yard dash in a 4.33, but he's also someone that has really thrived in coverage. He has the ability, the length to be able to cover on the perimeter. So if you wanted to maybe even use Sean Wade in the slot a little bit, that's where he was at his best when he was an Ohio State Buckeye, and have Miles Bryant play in the slot a little bit more. Amir Speed could be an option on the perimeter as well. So the Patriots have some combinations, things that they can do here in order to try to confuse Zach Wilson and that Jets offense. But they're a talented crew. If they can get into a groove, this could be a problematic matchup with the New England Patriots. But according to Murph, that's not going to happen, folks. So hopefully Murph has turned that key, and we are not even in the vicinity of turning all of the monster keys yet, folks, in order to get this one on track. We are going to do that in just a moment. But first, we're going to take a look at those Jets, specifically this Jets defense, folks, because it is a formidable group. And if the Jets, Jets want to take it to the Pats, they're going to have to win that battle of the defensive front versus the offensive line. Murph and I love to talk big round men up front. Are they up to the challenge? We'll tell you in just a moment when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues. Proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, buying tickets to your favorite event should not be stressful. Put the fun back in your plans with Gametime, the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all of the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for all of the fun you're going to have. Forget about planning months in advance. Gametime has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. And the Gametime guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. That's why it's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country. Get images of your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, just 2 taps and you're set, and tickets are sent directly to your phone so you'll never have to dig through your email. Snag the tickets without the stress with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Pats fans, you lead a busy life. You need fresh groceries for the week, but you don't have time to go to the store. Try grocery delivery from DoorDash. You'll get everything you want delivered when you need it right to your door. You've trusted DoorDash to deliver your restaurant favorites, and now you can get grocery delivery that actually delivers too. With thousands of grocery stores to choose from, you'll find the best in your neighborhood and boost your local economy with each and every order. You'll get exactly what you ordered, or DoorDash will make it right. So sit back and enjoy quality groceries just like if you pick them yourself. And if you want even more value, you can save on all of your grocery and restaurant favorites with a $0 delivery fee on all eligible orders with a Dash Pass membership. Get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to a $20 value when you use the code LOCKEDONNFL at checkout. It's a limited time offer and terms apply, so don't forget. That's 50% off, up to $20, no minimum subtotal, and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code LOCKEDONNFL. Don't forget, that's code LOCKEDONNFL for 50% off your first order with DoorDash. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots as we take you up to kickoff on game day on Sunday, 1 p.m., MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. The monsoon in the Meadowlands with a tropical cyclone. Yeah, Murph, that sounds pretty ominous this week coming up. A lot of rain, a lot of wind being dumped, but folks, I don't think it's going to derail the start time or derail the playing of this game, but probably not great conditions in New Jersey. But at the same time, the Patriots want to try to climb into the win column with a victory over the Jets, something they've done now 14 straight times. Can they extend it? Murph seems to think they will. I seem to think they will as well. But Murph, if there's one thing that bothers me about this Jets team that could swing the pendulum back in their favor, it's this defensive front. I think that is their best unit by far on this team, and it is a fearsome group. And you look at what the Patriots are going through right now on the offensive line, and this could be a problematic matchup for the New England Patriots. We all know that you have a penchant to turn those monster keys, and Murph's monster keys, folks, are always appointment reading each and every game week. When you look at this defense specifically, Murph, is there a reason to believe that this is not the same when you're a Jet all the way from the first bungled snap to your last fumbled play? Didn't think I remembered that. Huh?
The defensive side of the ball is where they make their hay a lot. You know, as the Patriots have to this point in time, it's these guys up front are formidable to say the least. They're not, you know, a completely sack happy team, but they've got a heck of a lot more than the Patriots do. 2 games into the season, you know, Quentin Jefferson is just, you know, a monster. Al Woods, he can get in there. Jermaine Johnson. This is going to be a difficult task for this group. Once again, you know, we've talked ad nauseum about how important it is for the offensive line to almost have tunnel vision, to be on the same page, this synchronicity of their steps. They're going to need a little help this weekend. I'm not sure where that chip is going to come from. Unfortunately, probably Hunter Henry is going, who's much improved in his blocking. I think that was just because he wasn't asked to do it a lot out there in San Diego, but his blocking has greatly improved this year. There's going to have to be a chip. They're going to have to watch these stunts. Stunts have given the interior of the Patriots line a lot of problems up to this point, and they're going to have to be able to stay at home and pick this stuff up.
In doing a little research for this game on Sunday, you go to the experts, and Evan Lazar of Patriots.com never disappoints. He's always right on point, and brought up a couple of matchups that we all believed would be problematic going into this. But Evan's insight and intricate details to drill down really shows how problematic these two could be. The first is obviously Quinnen Williams against Cole Strange. Right. Cole struggled last week. You got to give him a little bit of a pass. I know people in this region and some within our own, business and media do not want to give this kid a little bit of a pass. This is his first game this year, folks. Spent a lot of time away from the field because of a knee injury.
He's not in football shape.
Exactly. But now he's got to face the unenviable task of going up against one of the best defensive tackles in football. Quinnen Williams is a complete package. That run
it's going to be a long day.
It is. It will be a long day if he's not able to step up to the challenge. And I believe he will. I still think that there's enough talent there in Cole Strange to be able to do it. Yep. It's a tall task, but I like his chances.
And having a Happy Brown back, next to him on,
absolutely,
just to his left is going to be a huge upside for him. It's going to raise his game quite a bit. You're not going to have to think about what's happening on the left-hand side. That's going to be taken care of.
That left side is definitely going to be much more formidable this week with Trent Brown back in the lineup. He changes the complexity, folks, just from his presence. So the left side is definitely something where I believe New England is, more than capable. The more problematic of these matchups, and I think the one that worries me the most, and especially after reading some of Evan's research, is the right tackle position. Calvin Anderson last week did not perform up to snuff, and he's going up against Bryce Huff, who's a much more talented edge than Andrew Van Ginkel. And I think that type of speed rush, those spin moves that he had difficulties with last week, is something he needs to really be ready for. Huff has a 17.1 win rate with 8 pressures on 37 rushes. John Franklin Myers is another guy that rushes over the right tackle as base defensive end as well. So you're talking 2 problematic matchups for the New England Patriots offensive line, especially on the right side. If the Jets can exploit that and keep Mac Jones on his heels, you're looking at a very long day. And that's where it goes back to one of your main tenets, Murph, one of your key monster keys, maybe the most key of your monster keys. And that is making sure that the run is used effectively early and often.
That's it. One of the keys that I have is getting Ramondre into a rhythm. It's all, this entire offense is set up as to whether or not the Patriots can or cannot run the football. In the first 2 weeks, they've shown, and you can put as much blame or as little blame on the guys up front as you want. They have not been opening up holes for this tandem of running backs and allowing them to get to the second level and be able to do some damage. This is paramount this week, especially with the weather that's coming up. Both teams are going to probably end up stacking this box. The Patriots offensive line is going to have to get Ramondre to the second level to set up play action.
Bill O'Brien actually alluded to this a little bit when we talked to him early on this week on a Zoom conference, and he says we have to improve the running game. He was very forthcoming about the fact that there is a difference between actually doing a better job with what they believe they're going to see on the field and adjusting to what they actually do see on the field. And I thought that was very interesting. And Pro Football Focus actually broke this down very nicely, folks. If you want to take a look at some of their numbers and how they're looking at the Patriots' designed runs, 37.2% of the design runs that the Patriots have run so far, including 3 quarterback sneaks, have come from under center. This is something that I don't know necessarily is an O'Brien effect. It may be more of an Adrian Clem effect, because during his time at Oregon, he did not run a lot of design runs from under center. So there may be a little bit more the Clem effect than the O'Brien effect, because last year the Patriots ran 60.5% of their design runs from under center. 2.3 in 2021 under Josh McDaniels. So pretty monster numbers compared to what the Pats are doing right now. It really is going to be, I think, a shift in philosophy to try to get them and get that running game on track. Going to be interesting to see if they can do it.
Yeah.
This is not an easy defensive front to run against.
This was one of my keys, is to get back under center. You know, Mack and O'Brien have spent most of this season in shotgun, chasing leads. That's also something. You can't dig yourselves a hole this week.
Right.
That puts you in a position where you're going to need that. Also, the shotgun stuff is a lot of it has to do with how poorly the Patriots have pass blocked. But I need to see Mack under center to keep this Jets defense honest and to keep them guessing. The options are more fluid when you can get under center and put the run game first in the forefront of their minds. From here, you get more play action, more roll action, and get into the game plan that I think the Patriots have wanted to run this entire season, but haven't been able to with the issues up front.
Bottom line, Murph, it's going to be a tall task. There's no question about it, but the Patriots are up to it, and they have the personnel to be able to do it, folks. Don't let the 0-2 record fool you. The Pats do match up very well in these departments, and if they can establish and utilize the run to their advantage early on, limit the turnovers, that's going to put pressure then on the Jets defense to be able to hold up. If that's the case, the Pats defense can then go to work and try to shut down the running game of the New York Jets, because you know they're going to want to keep a cap on that. Bill Belichick wants to put this game in the hands of Zach Wilson, as Murph alluded to earlier. It is one of his monster keys, and folks, we're going to go there in just a moment, because it's the moment you've all been waiting for. We say it every week. You turn the keys, you go to the top. You don't turn the keys, you're never heard from again. Those keys haven't been turned all that well in weeks 1 and 2. Hopefully, Pat's Brass will listen to Murph in week 3 and turn those monster keys. We're going to break them all down for you when we conclude this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast and our Patriots Jets preview right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, football season is here, and there is no better time to use PrizePicks, the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. And they're also the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including all those pros and sharks out there, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks is really simple to play. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and then place your entry. That's it. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. That's why they're my favorites, and I know they're going to be yours too. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts, like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. So don't delay, do it today. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a first deposit match up to $100 by going to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and using the code LockedOnNFL. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Patriots fans, thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here on Locked On Patriots. Whether it be your late Friday evening, your Saturday morning, or all throughout the weekend, folks, we are getting you ready for a 1 p.m. kickoff on Sunday as the New England Patriots take on the New York Jets in East Rutherford at MetLife Stadium. Folks, don't forget, Monday is still Mailbag Monday, and it is either Melancholy Monday or Victory Monday, depending on how the Patriots shake out. Murph and I will be back here to break down all of the action and take your questions as well. So please be sure to submit your questions either in the comments section on YouTube. Just put the hashtag Mailbag Monday in there so we know you're submitting the question, or you can reach out to us at MDABATENFL or TMurph207 on Twitter. Folks, we are absolutely ready. We are primed. We cannot wait for the monster keys to be turned. We've been waiting for it all week. Murph, it's Jets week. We know we're going to have some fun with this one. I know you had some fun putting these together.
Oh, yeah.
It's always one of the best reads of the week, folks. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. As a matter of fact, if you have multiple devices at your disposal right now, do yourself a favor. Bring up the monster keys. Watch us right now and compare side by side. The floor is yours, my friend. When it comes to these monster keys to victory, what are you looking for most prominently from your New England Patriots against the Jets?
The Pats to dictate tempo.
Hmm.
That did not happen last week, has not happened a lot. This season, McCorkle has been most comfortable running no huddle, running in the 2-minute drill. You can
Hmm.
see it. You saw it last week. You saw it the week before. I'm really not sure why O'Brien has gotten away from it. Maybe the fact that it has been so thin on the offensive line and give these guys a little bit of a breather there. I don't expect them to go, full 1980s Jim Kelly Buffalo Bills out there, but I expect to see a lot more up tempo and no huddle than they did last week. On the defensive side of the ball, my first key is to sell out and shut down this Jets running game. Now these keys were written well before the cyclone was scheduled to hit, which is probably going to make it a ground game anyway.
Right.
But no, this is probably the most important key on the defensive side of the ball. While my non-love affair with with Zach Wilson is quite well known, and the fact that I just don't think he has the skill set to be anything more than a backup in this league. These running backs, Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, are both game changers. The
Right.
Patriots are going to have to sell out with this front seven to keep these guys, behind the line of scrimmage, to keep them from moving the chains. Last week, the Patriots did a pretty decent job of setting the edge and keeping the outside zone runs under control. The inside zone runs are what killed them. They're going to have to stay at home. These linebackers are going to have to do some big hitting, find those gaps and close them up. After that, it's basically, what I like to call the weeklies. Win the turnover battle. Can we
Right.
take care of the ball this week? We've seen in the past 2 games what happens when you don't win this battle. Third downs, the Patriots were 7 of 15 on third down conversions. They were 8 of 16 when you counted fourth down. It's not too shabby. I mean, close to 50% is, but just a little more. I just need a little more, especially when the Patriots are on the other side of their opponent's 50-yard line.
Absolutely.
That's where things seem to break down just a little bit in converting on third down. So once they get past the 50s, they're really going to have to buckle down and make sure that they move those chains on that week. Of course, always limit the laundry. I hate stupid. I can't stand stupid, and most penalties are just that. They're stupid. Last week, the Pats only got flagged for 45 yards on five tosses of that yellow flag out there, but it was still too much. And quite frankly, a lot of the penalties that probably would have happened didn't, because this line wasn't quick enough to get in front of somebody like Van Ginkel and hold. We really need to clean that up. We really need to clean that up. And then of course, the last one is
Yeah,
flip
you
the
truly do.
field. Flip this field and allow this defense to force the issue. Make Zach Wilson matriculate the ball down the field. Once you've taken away that run option and you put the ball in his hands, I mean, every time he drops back, there's a possibility of a pick six. There's a possibility of a turnover. Every single time this kid drops back, I don't know why nobody saw it coming out of college. He was completely scheme dependent and system dependent when he was out there at BYU, and they just don't have the personnel. They have not put together the personnel that is going to allow him to do that at the professional level. Get it in his hands and turn the ball over.
Absolutely. Get it in his hands and keep it in his hands, folks. Whenever
Yep.
Zach Wilson holds on to the ball a tad longer than he has to, it always either allows the pass rush to get home or it's going to force him into making errant throws and easy mistakes. And that's exactly what Bill Belichick has done. I don't think he's necessarily shown Zach Wilson anything that is beyond things that we normally see in a regular run-of-the-mill playbook. He's not doing things. He's not making Sam Darnold see ghosts out there. This is much different. This is basically just kind of getting in his head, and I think it has an effect on Zach before he even touches the ball.
And possibly the most important key that I cut this week was first quarter points. Okay, it has been since the Bills game in December. Since this team has scored a touchdown in the first quarter, put any points on the board in the first quarter. Can we please get out? Can we please take care of the ball, matriculate down the freaking field, and get me 6, get me 10 points in the first quarter? And let's see what this team can do when they're not chasing a lead, when they're playing from in front, because that's what this team is built to do.
Yeah, without question. The Patriots right now, because of pre-snap penalties, like you mentioned earlier, sloppy execution, turnovers, these things are all putting them into early deficits. And the Patriots just don't have the explosive players or the playmaking ability on this roster to come from behind. Those are insurmountable holes. The Patriots need a bigger boat, and they don't have one right now.
You can do that. I mean, I don't bring this up often. You can do that when you have Tom Brady underneath center. When you have the greatest football player to ever put a helmet on, you can do that. When you have Mac Jones, you just can't do that.
Right.
Okay. When you don't have Rob Gronkowski out there, you just can't do that. There's nobody that you can depend on 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 10. But it's not going to happen on this team. It's really not. Take care of the ball and get out early. And, it really has to be, the most important key this week that is not one of the weeklies. Don't turn your nose up at the weeklies, people, because that's the difference between a playoff team and somebody that's going home early.
Right. Murph is absolutely right. The weeklies are really monster keys for every game that the Patriots put on a uniform, no matter the opponent. But specifically against the Jets, you've got to put them on their heels early, folks. You have got to make them come from behind. It would be nice to give them a nice double-digit deficit to have to climb out of early in this game. But at the same time, even just the smallest of deficits, Patriots haven't even been able to do that yet. They need to try to do it this week.
And one thing that they're going to have to do to be able to do that, Mike talked well about, the lack of the type of player to get back into it is use that type of player. Get the rookies out there this week. I want to see Pop Douglas out there for 50% of the offensive snaps. This kid is more than a chain mover. He's a game changer. On the defensive side of the ball, I mean, we've talked about this at length. Get these studs out there. Marty Mapo, his snap count was at 36% last week. Keon White played 19 snaps. 19. Okay, that's not a recipe for success. Get this kid out there. He's a football player. Let him go play football. You drafted playmakers. Okay, I'm quoting myself here. You drafted playmakers. Go out there and let them make plays. I don't care if it was a 1st round pick, a 3rd round pick, or a 6th round pick. These kids are playmakers, and Bill, you need them. You need the playmakers.
I think that's why you saw so many of the Patriots captains. You saw so many of the Patriots quote unquote playmakers come to the rescue and really, I think, come to the aid of Pop Douglas earlier this week. That's a very important thing for a rookie to feel like.
Didn't see Zeke get benched. Didn't see Zeke get benched the week before when he put the ball on the carpet.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Ramondre had a nice little comment about it. He says, I hope he doesn't spend as much time on the bench as I did when I fumbled. But at the same time, I think
it was a bit of a different situation then, too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
The depth chart was a little bit thicker at running back than it is now. I mean, right now, I'm missing Damian Harris. I really am. I'm missing Damian Harris right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, obviously Damon scored a touchdown last week in the Buffalo Bills game. It's tough to see these guys move on and do things they did so well here for other teams and saying, yeah, you know what? We're missing that right now. It is a difficult situation, but still have a lot of faith in Zeke Elliott to step up and be able to be a solid complementary piece in Ramondre Stevenson. And I think Ramondre is going to bounce back. But with regard to Douglas, I was really glad to see guys come to his aid like Mac Jones, and especially Hunter Henry, who took me down memory lane earlier this week, Murph, when he talked about his fumble in his rookie season. I distinctly remember covering that game against the Colts, and as he's telling the story and talking about how he ran the route and he got into the open
see the
field,
grin on your face right
now. The ball was knocked loose. I can remember being I was a rookie myself covering the Chargers back then, and I can remember covering that game and watching Clayton Geathers just come in and pop the ball loose from Hunter, and Mike Adams recovering it, and yeah, it did derail the Chargers' ability to beat the Colts that year. So thank you, Hunter, if you happen to be listening to this for a trip down memory lane. But bottom line, it's good to see captains coming to his defense, because Pop Douglas needs that right now. He can't be beleaguered coming into this game. He's got to have as much confidence as he possibly can. And I think Patriots players were very careful to give him that. I hope he gets the opportunity to prove it, because he is explosive with the ball in his hands.
He really is. He really is. And I'm going to give everybody out here a key that you won't find at e2gsports.com, one that I specifically cut just for this show, just for Locked On. It's the Locked On key. Ty Montgomery.
Very good point. Very, very good point. Murph, I think you're absolutely right on the money. Get Ty involved. You've got to see him out there for more than just 3 offensive snaps. This kid has the ability to be a multifaceted weapon, whether receiving or whether as a running back. These are the situations. That's why you brought these guys in and you rostered them. Let's see what they can do. The
Once
Patriots
again, you know,
right
Zeke was brought in. Zeke was brought in here because he's definitely a blocking back. He's somebody that can pick up the blitz, and the Patriots have needed that, and they're probably going to need it a lot on Sunday. But getting Ty Montgomery in there on 3rd down in those passing situations, and allowing Mac to have him as a safety valve or a release out of the backfield is only going to make this team more versatile and more explosive.
We've given you all the ins and outs that you need when it comes to Patriots Jets this week. The keys have been presented. It's up to the New England Patriots to turn them now, and hopefully each and every one of them will be turned. If they are, I got a funny feeling that Monday will be a victory Monday instead of a melancholy Monday. But regardless, folks, we will be here for you on Monday to break down all the ins and outs, ups and downs of this one. But in the meantime, I want to give a tip of the cap and a much-deserved love to my good friend here on the opposite side of the microphone for always being there for the handoff and for sharing your monster keys right here on Locked On Patriots, and even giving us an exclusive key. Murph, I'll tell you what, I am honored and grateful by this gesture. And if you ever need anything, you just come to me. You'll let me know for that. But bottom line, my friend, thank you so much. Please let everyone know where they can continue to find you, reach out to you, and what you have cooking in Murph's kitchen over the weekend at E2G Sports.
Yeah, you can follow me on the Zitter app, Bird app, whatever you want to freaking call it, at TMurph207. You can read me over at e2gsports.com. Over the weekend, I'm going to be searching for a new president of baseball operations for the Red Sox. So you can check that out. It's either going to come out on Sunday or Monday. My top 3 choices for the next skipper of the helm.
New president. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying.
Hey, look,
solve a lot of problems.
Solve a lot of problems.
I got
a right-handed pitcher, you know, that I could sign to a league minimum contract. Actually, he played for food money, and we could take care of a lot of problems. He can also go over there and hit lefties at first base.
Absolutely, folks. Tom Hagen may not have been a wartime consigliere. I assure you, this time, wartime consigliere. He's ready to take the reins. But all kidding aside, thank you so much for joining me here today, my friend. Enjoy the game on Sunday. I know it's going to be a fun one for Patriots fans. Pats fans, thank you for spending time with us all week long here on Locked On Patriots and making us a part of your New England Patriots coverage each and every day. On behalf of my good friend, the Count of Murphy Fisto himself, legendary Thomas Murphy, I am Mike Debate, reminding you all to stay safe, to stay well, and to be the change you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, a great weekend, and enjoy the game on Sunday. We'll see you right back here on Monday on Locked On Patriots.